this video, I'm going to show you specifically how to use Visual Studio 2017 Express to create your first C++ program. I'm going to start up Visual Studio 2017. You have to use this in a very specific way to make this work. It may start off with Windows looking like this or not. The start page may be gone. The Solution Explorer may not be here. It is a very useful thing to see, and the way you get it there is go to your View menu and make sure that Solution Explorer is on. Now, every time you start, you must make a new project. And so I'm going to File, New Project. That's going to bring me up a window. In this window, you see the default is Windows Console application. That is what you must use. So you have to make sure over here you are in the C++ language. You'll need to give it a name. Don't use these default names. So this is a test hello program. So I will call that my name. You need to be mindful of where your files are being stored. I'm going to copy this down and come back and explain that to you again in a second. So there is a default place where your files are being stored. You can reference another location if you want to, but I really would kind of suggest that you stick with this default location. And so the only thing you really need to do here is make sure you have Windows Console application and you give your project a name. Click on OK, and a folder is going to be created for you, and also a C++ file where you can actually type your program in. So this is going to take just a couple of seconds here. And we get this. Now, in Visual Studio 2017, the expected way to set up main is with int main. You may have seen me talk about void main. They both work. But in Visual Studio 2017, you're going to need this. So everything that is already here, do not remove or change. So let's just make a quick hello world program. That means we need to include IOStream for cout. And you also, anytime you do this, you need using namespace std. Now, we'll put one statement in here, hello world, with an indel. If I want to run this program, it needs to be compiled. You can either separately compile. I'll show you if I go to build, rebuild solution, then it will compile this program. If I have any errors, then they will show up in your output window. So you see it says succeeded. That means I can proceed. And I can then go to debug, start without debugging. You have to use that option if you want the output window to remain. And so it opens up a console window here and executes your code, and there is the result. If you then need to copy and paste that output to put in your program, click on the icon in the upper left, go to select all. Then if you actually just hit enter, that will copy that code, but otherwise you can go here and say copy. You'll come here to your program. You'll always put your runtime output here at the end, and you can paste that in here. And so that is what you submit, is your code along with your output. Again, this is my first program. I want to show you that you don't have to do two steps. If you go directly to debug, start without debugging. First, let me show you if you do go to start debugging. So it compiles, it will do this, and it will build your program. And it will run it, but the window goes away. So the way to make the window stay is you must use start without debugging, and that will show you your output. So that is the process, and every single time, that is the process that you need to follow. And if you need to go find your files are going to be, the default location is in C, users, whatever is your username. There will be a folder called source. Under that will be a folder called repos. And you'll see this is the program that I just made called Test Hello. There's a folder that has a number of things in it. So you don't ever change or delete any of those. But your actual code is here. Here's your CPP source. Here is testhello.cpp. Also, I will close this up. If you ever want to start your program from the directory, so if I go to here, you don't go find your CPP file. What you're going to do is find your Visual Studio solution file. And if you double click on that, then it will open up the project in Visual Studio 2017. So that shows you all the steps. Otherwise, if you just open Visual Studio 2017, you just always go here to File, Open Project, and it will show you a list here. If I go to this program, again, it's the solution file that you will click on in order to open up the project. So get started testing out your first program.